What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Has the pandemic made your mind idle? An idle mind is the devil's workshop, right? So since this pandemic started, there've been a lot of. Um, you would think there'll be a lot of progression in life, because though you have to take a step back, two steps back, it'll give people time to recalibrate. But what you see is, in some ways, you see some people pushing on in a new direction, and you see a lot of people just falling apart. And part of that reason is because they have their mind is idle. If there's nowhere to go out and no people to interact with, and you just see people falling and faltering. And it started with really the kids and in home learning, because all of a sudden, without the social interaction, kids have a lot more time on their hands than people than than they seem to admit, and then you're just bored, you're just doing nothing. And then we talk about things like mental illness and whatnot, and you can see the rise of mental illness in some people because of the isolation, which makes it worse. The world is moving, but you're really not. Then we got to get real. The trap is jumping during most of the whole pandemic, because people are looking for an escape. They're looking for just trap is jumping. The liquor store. If we get bougie, the spirits and wines. Whatever. It's people buying all kinds of stuff, because ultimately they're trying to get away. They're trying to mask the idle mind. People haven't. You can't travel, so now people aren't making the best of it in their day-to-day life, because there's no way to escape your city. Even if you're living good in your city, you just want to get away for some odd reason, and then you're stuck there. And the question is, what is the big deal? Because I firmly believe if you're good with yourself, then you'll figure out something to do. But some people can't deal with the silence in the home, because you're left with your own thoughts. You can't be by yourself because you're left with your own thoughts. You can't look at yourself in the mirror because you don't like what you see. And when you're that type of person, and I don't mind, is the devil's workshop, because now you need to escape from you. Because ultimately, this is what all of this stuff is: an escape from you. And sometimes, you know, we got people who might have used work not just as a means to take care of themselves, but also a getaway from people and even their family. So what if you can't get away from people? Now you're stuck with these people, and your mind is idle with these people. And ironically, though this is your family and you love them, you might not like them. And then you start disrespecting them, picking fights with them. Your inner misery in their company does not make for good company. So now can't wait to get out, and we're gonna get out, we're gonna move, blah blah blah. Get away from people. And people can't wait for other people to get away from them. It's like, oh. And people just can't wait to get out and interact with people, because, I've been cooped up, I've been locked up. Cabin fever for a lot of people is a real thing. And this pandemic is just like cabin fever on steroids. So what are you seeing people do? You know, positive thing, I've seen people working out more. But then at the same time, I've seen people let themselves go. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've seen people just blow up their relationships because, you know, excuse me, because, you know, their mind can't be with the person because the person is that person was their escape for themselves, and now when you would now, sheesh. But now when you're with them 24/7 and they pointing out what's up with you, that you got to fix this, you got to fix that, you got to go. You got to go because now you telling me what I already know about me, and I don't want to deal with that, and you're becoming a problem pointing it out too. You know, and then you're stuck with yourself, and thus, you know, in some ways, the increase in therapy has come because of the idle mind. Like some people realize I got problems. I really need to fix some things because this pandemic set me down enough to pay attention to myself to know I my own idle mind has caused a lot of unnecessary drama to my life. Is what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, share, subscribe, or die. Try and catch you on the next one. Peace.